We came up, the two of us together, with a list of the 7 things to know from the Hunter Biden pardon. Right? 7 things. And these, I think, are sort of unique perspectives and angles that a lot of people aren't talking about.
Our third big takeaway from this pardon, this historically unprecedented pardon of the president's son, is that the timing of the pardon matters a lot. It's a very specific time frame. We're talking about January 1st, 2014 to December 1st, 2024.
Which means like Hunter might have done something in October that nobody knows about.
Well, we
I mean, right? I mean, seriously.
How honest did they get at Thanksgiving dinner? Like, no, actually, Dad, we're gonna kind of need to kick that one down to November as well.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, that's what's so weird about this.
But so we'll get to that, right? But let's talk about what happened in January 2014. Why does January 1st, 2014 stand out to you? You know, you wrote a book,
right?
Secret Empires. You've written actually several books that feature Hunter Biden. What's happening in January of 2014? Why does it matter that immunity kicks in then?
What's happening in January of 2014? Everything. Everything. Okay, remember, in December of 2013, just a couple of weeks before, in mid-December, Hunter Biden flies on Air Force Two with his dad and secures the deal in China. And they actually sign the papers in January when they return. So the January 1st, 2014 date, number one, that means now anything involving the China money is now subject to, not being prosecuted.
Now, and pause, just to kind of talk about that, because sorry to like nerd out on this stuff, guys, but this is something we have spent a lot of time talking about. So it's a weird kind of Christmassy morning type of thing, but in the worst way. It's like, no, they got the president and we just get to talk about what they got. Yeah. So this Chinese $1.5 billion joint venture deal between the Chinese Communist Party and Hunter Biden's financial investment firm.
Yeah, which was minuscule and had no experience doing anything.
This is not like a guy who's got a career in international finance. He's so unsophisticated, he doesn't even call it finance. He calls it finance. Like, I mean, that's and if you know, you know. So, and that's a real thing. But so this deal with China was so shady. One of Hunter Biden's business partners in other deals, John Kerry's stepson, Chris Hines, said, guys, this is too much, right? Like, I'm all about making money and making money in some questionable ways, but I will not do that. It's like the meatloaf. I'll do anything for cash, but I won't do that. And he got away from it, right? Yeah, exactly. But it just shows you, like, that's how shady this thing was from day one.
Right.
When people didn't want any part of it, Whitey Bulger, the mafia's kid, wanted in, or nephew, I think it was. Yeah. But other people didn't. Yeah. And so that business deal starts the same time this immunity begins.
In 2014, that's right. So China is now covered. That can't be prosecuted. Second deal happens in April of 2014. So 3 months later after this immunity deal is done, and that is the 𝒂𝒃𝒻 deal in Ukraine. And remember, the Russians had invaded Crimea. Ukraine wanted friends in the West. They wanted to make sure the vice president at the time, Joe Biden, was on board. So what do? They set up his son with a sweetheart deal, $1 million a year, a board seat on 𝒂𝒃𝒻. So the timing of this deal now takes all actions involving 𝒂𝒃𝒻, legal, illegal, whatever they might be. None of those can no longer be prosecuted. And there's a third country. In the spring of 2014 is when he secures the deal. Hunter Biden secures a deal with Yelena Baturina. This is the oligarch, the wife of the oligarch who's friends with Vladimir Putin. What she's looking for, Russia again has invaded Ukraine. Ukrainians are looking for allies. She's looking for a way to make sure she's not on the sanctions list that the Biden Obama administration is putting together. She gives $3.5 million to Hunter Biden's firm, and lo and behold, she never shows up on the sanctions list. That anything related to Yelena Baturina and Russia, that can now no longer be prosecuted.
So I want to go back to the 𝒂𝒃𝒻 thing just quickly, because I mean, we again, this is something we've spoken a lot about, but to be clear, 𝒂𝒃𝒻 hires Hunter Biden. This Ukrainian natural gas company hires Hunter Biden. At the same time, they're very clear. The CEO says, hey, we're being investigated by this prosecutor. We want this prosecutor to get out of here because he's causing us problems. Joe Biden brags about telling the Ukrainian president, we're withholding your aid unless you fire this prosecutor. Hunter Biden brags to his boss, the aid has, this prosecutor is successfully removed. That is all a thing that happened that nobody disputes.
Yeah.
You've suggested that fits the legal definition of bribery.
Yes.
That is also a crime that Hunter Biden is absolved from because of this pardon.
And an example of a crime involving
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So this is, again, you are now hamstringing any investigation. We know there are ongoing investigations. DOJ has said so. Now you have basically gutted the ability of that prosecution to go forward because there's no underlying crime that you're investigating.